I'm retired now and I needed something to do, so I have developed a little laser system for aligning bandsaw blades to your bed, and then circle saws line it to your track and to your head blocks. And it's a real simple little system, and I'm going to demonstrate that now. This is a small drawing that I put together that I think it'd be simple enough for you to understand. At the left of your screen you'll see a yellow image there, and it's called the laser. Then the red coming out of that's the beam, and then your target is the green. And the black at the bottom of those two is either your belt or your chain. A lot of saws out there has chain feeds, and a lot of them have belt feeds. Here in this prototype you'll see the guides, your saw blade, and the tubing at the bottom represents your belt or your chain top. From the long tooth down you see that it's measuring down to my table 1 3/4 inch. Now 30 inches away you see that it measures 1 3/4 inch on the target. If the long tooth down shows that it reads 1 3/4, and then we move back to the target and it shows 1 3/4 also, that means that the saw blade is running perfectly level with your deck. Set your target a minimum of 30 inches from the saw blade, but if you move it out further, the more accurate your system will be. Once you know that your blade is level, you can start adjusting your blade pointing up or pointing down. Every machine out there will be a little bit different. We hear all the time of people telling us how they run their saws, and we have some will set their target 4 foot away from the blade, and they run in as much as a 7/8 tilted up with their blade. I'm not telling you how to set your machine. All I'm telling you is that this little system will tell you where you're at all times once you put the laser on the blade and then set your target up about 30 inches away from your machine. Have some more illustrations for you. This is showing the laser on the left side next to the guide on a Woodmiser sawmill. Now we've rolled the blade over to the other side, and the laser is next to the right guide. On this Woodmiser we measured the long tooth down to the head block. It was measuring 4 inches. And we know now the blade was setting on 4 inches, and now then we're reading 4 3/4 on the target, which is setting 36 inches away from the saw blade. We shut this mill down long enough to see how level the blade was running with the head blocks on this Woodmiser, and we learned that it has a 3/4 inch tilt up in a 36 inch span. If you have a saw that has a belt on it, then you need to put a sheet of metal, good and flat, on top of your belt so that you can get an accurate measurement from your tooth down to the plate, and also that your target will read accurately. Jack B in Kentucky. He's been running a pallet mill for about 30 years. He has 8 or 9 bandsaw blades running, and he has scrag mill running, and he uses this laser to align each one of his machines. He says the money he spent on this is the best money he ever spent, and he says if you run a bandsaw, you can't afford to be without one of these laser systems.